Enter at your own peril and ask the bolted doors where impossible things may happen that the world's never seen before. Man, that intro always gives me chills, always brings me back. I remember making that. Anyways, hello everybody and welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 1063 titled The Only Family I've Got. Or as I like to call it, Daddy Issues. All right. So just before we start, just a couple of announcements that I always have to give out at the beginning of every live stream, which is our Patreon. You know all about the Patreon if you watch on Tuesdays, stuff like that. You can donate in increments of $5, $10, $30, $50, or $100 a month. And that would be very appreciated. I'm not going to go through all the tiers because you know all the tiers. Moving on, we have merch, the Afro X t-shirt, which you can find at www.teespring.com/stores/Afro-X-2. You'll find the Afro X t-shirt there for $30. On the front, there is the Afro X logo, and on the back, there's the Afro X slogan, which is, of course, say it with me, stay legendary. All right, moving on. We do have a AfroX TikTok, which is at AfroX_YT. You can find that on the TikTok app or on the TikTok website. So definitely go and check that out. All right. So big news coming up. So, of course, next Tuesday is going to be an open live stream because the 10th video of the second season of Anime Legends. But it is also very exciting because that live stream itself will be the 500th video on the AfroX channel. So make sure to tune in for a huge extravaganza. We're going to be having a big party to celebrate 500 videos on this channel over the course of, I believe, 8, almost 9 years. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, going into the chapter, let's take a look. Because this chapter really gets crazy. All right. One Piece chapter 1063, titled The Only Family I've Got. So, starting out with the cover page, we have apparently Chocolate Town has been covered in ice. which is what we have discovered here. And we can clearly see Cracker, who I am so sorry. I yawn every time I live stream. I don't know why. Um, but we see Cracker here trying to escape and not really escaping. What we can see here, if you look carefully, is Cracker's hand is actually being pinned down by what looks like an ice spear or a walking cane or something to that effect.
Okay, I found this on the web for Packer's hand is actually being pinned down by what looks like a spear or a walking cane or something to that effect. Check it out.
I'm sorry, uh, tech stuff. Anyways, so we see Brule crying in the background, and we see Pudding being shocked at the top of the tower by whoever is doing this. And if you look closely, you can see just behind her hair, her third eye is there. Um, but yeah, the title of the cover story is Pudding's Been Kidnapped. So this is quite a development. Um, so in the notes, Ichiro Oda praises Kohei Tanaka on a 40th anniversary concert. That is awesome. So we start off with Jewelry Bonnie, Luffy, and Chopper all being stuffed from getting to eat anything they want from the food machine. Chopper kind of mirrors what B.D.A was saying last week, which is Sanji is probably the only person that would not like an automatic food machine. Um, so Punk number 5, this is Rap, and Sarah says, "You sure can eat, you have bulging bellies." And Jinbei gets his funniest line. He says, "Mine was already like that." Um, so Jinbei just straight up like calls himself out on being fat. Um, so apparently Vegapunk has a dog that eats garbage and recycles it, which is very cool. Called the Recycle Cur. And Sarah says, "Well, I got to get back to work. If I don't run riot, no one will." And Bonnie says, "What kind of job is that?" And that's interesting because Raph's apparent job in this place is literally her job is to beat up the holograms, which I have no idea why, but I guess we'll eventually find out. Um, but yeah, her job is to beat up the holograms. Um, so a bunch of people walk by. Uh, One says petrology, one says linguistics, one says history. I can't read the rest, but Chopper says, "Who are they?" And Bonnie says, "I think it's safe to assume they're lab assistants of some kind." Um, and so then Luffy steps out of an apparent machine and has a new wardrobe. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have the official new wardrobe for Luffy in the Egghead arc. So this is very, very cool, the official costume. Um so Luffy gets a costume, and we actually see the fashion machine, and Bonnie goes in there and gets a very, very suggestive outfit, but very nice. She said she wanted a battle uniform, and apparently that's a battle
Not sure
uniform
I
because of
understand.
the
Is there something else I
shoulder
can help with?
pads. And so then Jinbei says they even have tropical styles, and Jinbei comes out wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, Jinbei is officially dad. Jinbei is our dad now. It just is. He is a fat dude wearing a Hawaiian shirt. A fat older dude wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He's dad. Call him Papa Jinbei. Like yeah, we could just like from now on call him Papa Jinbei. Papa Jinbei, that's your name. Um, Chopper gets a outfit too, which kind of gives him a sort of helmet. That's kind of cool. Saying it's so futuristic. Uh, so Bonnie's about to leave when a police pacifista comes up, and Luffy says, it's Kuma. Is it just me, or is he uh or no, I think Chopper says it's Kuma, and then Luffy, while eating, says Puma. So this police pacifist is looking for them, and Luffy says, "Let's get out of here." He's about to charge, and so he runs straight at them. Pretty much what it turns out is that he's attacking them because the food and clothes were not free. Um, we got our number one fan in here. Trix says, "Yo." Trix says, "Jinbei being the father of the group for sure. You got in at exactly the right moment, dude. Not even gonna lie." Um, so Trix, you weren't here just a second ago. Pretty much catching up. We are so Bonnie, Luffy, Chopper are exploring Egghead Island. The Wrath, the robot girl, has flown off. And her job apparently is to just beat up the holograms. That's all she does all day. We see a bunch of assistants walk by, and then now a police pacifista is coming up to attack them. And this is apparently because the food and clothes were not free. So Luffy goes to attack the pacifista, and Bonnie, who I'm very impressed at her skill, completely stops Luffy when he is about to hit this pacifista guy with at least a grizzly magnum, if not a elephant gun, if not a red rock. Um but yeah, Bonnie just straight up stops him, which is canonically now the second time that during an attack Luffy has gotten interrupted. Um which is interesting. So Bonnie's kick pretty powerful. Also, I don't know how her kick reached that high. Like he was above a pacifista's head. Bonnie is much smaller than Pacifista. How is she still standing on the ground and kicking him? Unless she like jumped up and kicked him. I don't know. Anyways, not important. So the pacifista keeps attacking, and apparently Bonnie thinks that this is her father, thinks that this is Kuma, or at least is emotionally attached. Um, Luffy's like, whew, sorry. Luffy's like, hey, what the heck? I gotta hit him. He's attacking us. And that's when Bonnie says, "That's my father. He's the only family I've got." And this is when everybody realized it. So it was very vague before. The readers realized it was Kuma she was talking about. But the characters just now are figuring out that Bartholomew Kuma is Jewelry Bonnie's father. Um, so yeah, he's so very emotional panel here. Jewelry Bonnie cries out and says, "Please don't hurt my daddy." And damn, like straight to my heart, man, straight in the feels. And we actually finally get to see an image of Bartholomew Kuma before he was turned into a cyborg. So this is, I believe, this is the first image we have of Kuma before the seven warlords of the sea. Um, which is very very cool. Um, So Luffy's like, "Hey, get out of here," because apparently Bonnie is just not getting out of the way, and he's just like, "It's just a pacifista," and so I don't know. Does Bonnie not know what a pacifista is, or does she think this is Kuma? Or does she just have an emotional attachment to the shape of her father? I oh, excuse me. I don't know. But anyway, um so a huge blast goes off blowing a piece of the island off. So that story kind of comes to a pause. We now move over to new development pretty much in the middle of the ocean. The setting is a certain sea in the new world. And we hear the notorious laugh. Which definitely signals that Blackbeard is here. Um, so uh, Blackbeard is apparently fighting Trafalgar Law as we see his submarine. Um, and Oda is so sneaky. He makes the first panel showing Trafalgar Law so like hunched down that we can't really tell. Um, and so one of his crew is saying another hit like that and the water pressure will crush us. There's land northeast of here. And in the next panel, we see what may be this may be a contender for the new hottest woman of One Piece. This is Femme
Okay,
Trafalgar Law.
for this may be a contender for the new hottest woman in One Piece. Check it out.
Yes, we get to see Femme Law. Um, and so immediately my first thought is, holy crap, Blackbeard killed Emporio Ivankov and stole his ability. Um, and I was really hoping this wasn't the case, and fortunately, it is not the case. Um, Although we do see some impressive feat from Law here, because Law at this moment has been turned into a woman by some sort of devil fruit, and Law says it'll be fine though. Our clashes with the Emperor has taught me. Sorry, I have to do Law's voice in a female voice now. Um, that devil fruit powers can be countered if you use a great deal of haki. And what is impressive is that Law, with his own willpower, changes his gender. He changed, he gender swapped at will. Let's take a second to unpack that. He swapped his gender with his own willpower. That's a feat right there. And it is proof that at this moment, it is canonically documented Trafalgar Law could defeat Emporio Ivankov. Yeah, so yes, now we know Trafalgar Law could beat Ivankov in a fight. Um so yeah, he at will changes back into a man. So that's when we find out that this transformation was actually put on by Dot Q, who has the sick fruit. Um, Apparently, kind of like whereas Queen is a genius and can just invent diseases, um, Dot Q here, his power is actually that he can just create diseases, and he says this is called the Milady transformation plague. So it is a plague that transforms anyone that isn't a lady into a lady. Apparently. Uh So he says, oh, so he's managed to nullify the disease. I'd expect no less from a pirate worth 3 billion. That's how diseases go. An antibody always comes along, and when one person finds a remedy, it's not long before everyone's cured. So here we really get to see a full panel of just the entire Blackbeard Pirates, and we get to know well, not the entire Blackbeard Pirates. I'm gonna get to that in a second, and we get to really see what some of the new members' powers are. So we have Doc Q, Sick Fruit, can put diseases on any disease he wants on anybody and invent new ones out of nowhere. We have Van Auger with the Warp Fruit, can send anyone anywhere or anything anywhere, I am guessing. Um so he says to Burgess, I'm gonna send you over to the island. And blip, he sends Burgess over to the island, and Burgess now has the buff fruit. So Burgess was already inhumanly strong. Like at base, he was strong. Now he has a devil fruit that makes him even stronger. And they look over at him, and Burgess literally lifts up a mountain. He lifts a mountain. Yeah. So Law's going through everything. Superhuman strength, bizarre contagions, teleportation. These guys have hunted down some insane powers. No wonder their bounties keep rising. So Burgess throws the mountain at him. Law completely destroys it by doing room because, Law's like, dude, I've already destroyed a meteor with my room before. This is nothing. Like Law has chopped a mountain in half before. Um so then we get to the final panel, and Blackbeard is facing down against Law, or Law is facing down against Blackbeard, who is riding Stronger, who just looks a mess right now. Blackbeard is sitting on top of Dot Q and Stronger, and Dot Q's like, hey, this horse can't take much more because you're a fat ass. He doesn't really say that, but yeah. So pretty much they just have a standoff moment, and Blackbeard's like, your load poneglyph rubbings, I'm just gonna take them. And I was like, dude, you took the words right out of my mouth. Like, whatever you got, I'ma beat you and take it. Let's settle this. Winner takes all. Now, that is the end of the chapter, but there's some scary stuff about to happen, and this is very particular because of what has been said. So canonically, it has been mentioned that Law is potentially the only devil fruit user in the world who could easily beat Luffy, just because his devil fruit power is so hacks. It's so hacks, and it's literally the OP fruit. It by nature, it is overpowered. Like I've said, Law has chopped mountains in half. Law has sliced up meteors falling from the sky. Uh like there's a ton of stuff that Law can do with this power, and that's why it is so scary that he is fighting Blackbeard right now, because as we know, when Blackbeard kills someone with a devil fruit power, he's probably going to steal that power. And this gets us into dangerous territory, because if that power can already potentially beat Luffy, then there's two outcomes here. There's two outcomes here, and I'm guessing the second one is more going to be the case. So, first outcome, Law wins. Law wins, kills Blackbeard. I don't know what happens for the rest of the story. because we all know that Luffy and Blackbeard are supposed to have a final confrontation. Second result, Blackbeard kills Trafalgar Law and then steals his devil fruit power, and then I don't know what happens for the rest of the story, because at that point, if Blackbeard stole Law's power, Blackbeard would be unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. Like, if Blackbeard stole Law's power, I'd just give him the One Piece at that point. I'd be like, I give up. You win. Take the One Piece. You're the Pirate King. You do your thing. Just please, 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 please do not kill me. Yeah. and that's the thing. If Blackbeard gets Law's power, it's over. It's done. Put a fork in it. Like if Law loses here, you can end the One Piece manga. You can just stop it, because there will be no way to defeat Blackbeard at that point. So yeah. We had better hope and pray that somehow Law manages to do something. I mean, there is always the caveat that Law doesn't always have to kill someone, but it's Blackbeard. Law is going to definitely be not pulling his punches and going for murder every time. Now there is the possibility that this is there's the possibility that first off, that there's a possibility that this is actually a flashback to the what was it, the incident that was being talked about before. It is possible that it's possible that Law gets saved by some, like, it's possible that Law's getting trashed, like when he fought Doflamingo, and he gets saved by someone. Probably not Luffy, because Luffy's in a whole different direction than him right now. But there is the possibility that Law does not kill Blackbeard, but instead steals Blackbeard's heart in a bubble, and by doing that holds Blackbeard captive. That would be interesting. Well, because we would get to see just how literally Blackbeard's heart is, and B, we would it would definitely make Law the most powerful pirate on the entire seas. So yeah, there's but these are all small options. These are all like very like vague options that are likely not to happen. The most likely outcomes is Law kills Blackbeard, then Law technically becomes Blackbeard, or Blackbeard kills Law and just stomps everyone else on his way to the One Piece. But yeah. I'm interested to see what is going to happen here, because with this, Oda may have written himself into a corner that he can't get out of. I mean, Oda's really good at getting out of corners, and he's really good at subverting expectations. And when you think he's going to do one thing, he does something completely different that wasn't even the opposite of what you were thinking, but is something way off on another track. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens here. But that is the chapter for you. Yeah. Yes, I just wanted to restate my one of my announcements from earlier. So Tuesday's live stream, we're doing Anime Legends. Obviously, we're doing the open live stream for the 10th episode of the 6th season. But the bigger announcement is that Tuesday's live stream will be the 500th video on the Afro X channel. So we're definitely going to do something big, some extravaganza, something like that, to celebrate 500,000 videos on this channel. Um, so super excited for that. Let's take a look at the chat. Trixie saying they ran up on Law and his crew. Well, actually, technically, Law is in the wrong here because Law ran up on Blackbeard because what is it? Blackbeard says, "Hey, after you guys left, after you, Kid, and Straw Hat left Wano, I knew one of you was gonna come here. I just didn't know which one it would be." And I mean, obviously, for power scaling purposes, like uh, Teach kind of got a fair trade. I mean, he could have easily smacked Kid. He could have easily squashed Kid. And we're not doing the final fight between him and Luffy until closer to the end of the series. So it kind of had to be Law. Um, but yeah. Texas, yeah, 500th video, hell yeah. Absolutely, dude. I am excited. Um, I had another train of thought going about that whole thing. Oh yeah, so Law is currently likely on the shore of Fullaled Island. So he's deep in a pocket. He deep in enemy territory. Um, so
I found this on the web for he deep enemy territory. Check it out.
I swear. Anyways, so yeah, the Straw Hats were headed for Hakamai. They landed on Egghead. Um, so yeah, interesting way the story is going. Let's see what happens. Anyways, definitely stay healthy, everyone. Stay happy, everyone. I'm hoping that things go well for you. Enjoy your lunch breaks, which are probably starting right about now. And stay tuned for the next piece of One Piece to be continued.